Welcome to Author's Corner, Discovering Diversity Publishing's podcast, where we get to meet authors where they are and find out who they are. I'm your host, Sheena Blake, CEO of Discovering Diversity Publishing. I'm pumped. Let's just get started. Hello. It is no longer morning. I was going to say good morning. This is Sheena Blake here from DDP, and welcome to 10-10-10 Toronto Authors Tour. We are on our 6th stop, and today's author happens to be me. Yay! This is Authors Corner podcast, where we speak with authors and give them platforms to do the things that they haven't had an opportunity to do. So today I'm sitting with Suzanne and Ozioma from what was Saturday Dinette, that is now something else. These are incredibly magical, powerful women, and I am humbled to even be sitting in their presence. So please introduce yourselves and what it is you do on this planet and how you bless with magic the way that you do.
Hello. I'm Suzanne, guys. Thank you, Sheena. Thank you so much for having us here. Yes, we are a part of Saturday Dinette, which was my first baby restaurant. She's what brought me back to Toronto. You know, I was born in Toronto and I left in the 80s with my family, and I, grew up in the U.S. and I came back exactly 5 years ago, and we shut our doors to Saturday Dinette just 1 week ago. So it is a blessing to be here and talk to you guys about, food, Toronto, our stories, wherever this conversation goes, whatever happens.
Hello, I'm Ozioma, and I am currently Chef Suzanne's personal assistant, and I used to work at what was the Saturday Dinette as a server and a prep cook and a whole host of things.
She was busy.
Yes, and I'm also a full-time student at U of T. I'm studying political science, philosophy, and African studies.
Alumni.
Really?
Yes,
Oh
ma'am.
my God, what did you study?
I majored in English. I minored in Women's Studies and Caribbean Studies.
Nice. How did you feel about those programs, the women's studies?
Oh, I loved them.
Nice.
I was doing sciences for a long time, and then I was like, forget it, I'm going to stay UT forever. Changing my minor. So that's what I did.
Nice.
Yes, but I loved UT. I had a blast. I didn't mention that we are here now at Hip Hop Art, which is an art gallery, a pop-up art gallery. It's the sickest space. We are here in Kensington Market. So if you guys catch this podcast before they close down this pop-up shop, get your butts in here because the artwork is crazy. You'll see it on social media. So, right? Like all of it. I'm just like, oh. And I've been seeing his artwork all over the place, not realizing that it was him. So Andre Alexander is a super cool, eccentric, interesting man.
Awesome.
He's nice and wild. I think that it's great.
Yeah.
He's going to join the podcast a little later, guys, but he's arting around. Artisting around. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I want to ask you guys some questions.
Yes.
Part of me is so the exterior Sheena is I want to know kind of the dirt around things.
Yes.
And then the interior Sheena is I want to know the heart of, within the things. Yeah. So tell me.
So where to start? So much to share within the last week. So much has changed.
Yeah.
I think initially we were planning to have this wonderful podcast at the Dinette, where we were going to feed you and feed you not with just your belly, but we're also feed you with the soul and the spirit, which is what we always did at the Dinette. And it's not bittersweet of a feeling that it's not going to happen again. I think it's bittersweet of it's the transitions, moving on.
Transitions are always bittersweet.
They are always bittersweet.
And the bitter is bitter and sweet is
Sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we can both speak on that, myself and Ozioma, because we had from Hip Hop Sunday to our dinner services where it was just people just just got into it. They got into the food, they got into the culture, they got into the music, they got into the vibe, they got into us just being on the line and dropping the food in front of you and telling you what we made for you that day. And that was what the Saturday Dinette was about. We were a modern diner in every sense, and we loved what we did. We really represented a time and space in Leslieville doing what we did, and we had a great time. And I think that to everyone who has ever come, and to those that will hopefully come to our next projects, know that we don't stop. We're nonstop. We're moving on to bigger and beautiful things. And Saturday Dinette was just kind of the springboard that we needed to kind of really get it set up.
Springboards.
Yeah.
They're really real.
Yeah.
I hear you say it and I'm like, whoa, that's so real.
Yeah.
Really wasn't. I'm like, what do I say now? No, but it truly was an amazing space. And when I think about the fact that it's closed, I'm just kind of like, ugh. I get sad because I feel bad for the people who are going to miss it. You know what I mean? It's like, because I get enough of Saturday Dinette from her, right? Yeah, I'm with her all the time. And I really love that. But like, I feel so bad. When I saw the comments, people were commenting and everything. And like, even one of our regulars like was messaging me and was like, oh my God, I didn't know that you guys were closed. Like, where am I supposed to go eat now? And I'm like, don't you have a house with a kitchen? But like they rely on us. And that's what I love so much. It's really like, we really became a part of people's lives. And that was so amazing. Because you don't realize it when you're, working, as a server or whatever it is that you're doing within the space. But then like when people start saying little things like, oh, like this was amazing as it always is, as usual, and like coming in, you start seeing more faces more regularly. It's kind of like, okay, so we are really a part of your life. Like, and that feels really amazing because they love it. They love Saturday. They love Saturday Dinette. They love Saturday Dinette.
Yeah. So like I'm hearing all of it and then I'm like there's that part of my heart that's like, yeah. And then there's the part of my heart that I'm like, we know, like, I don't know if it's as women, as sisters, I don't know what it is, but like, sometimes something goes super shitty, and then all of a sudden it's like, springboard.
Yes, the light. It's like, it's a clearing.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a clearing to kind of get you in a space to read. Yeah, space between that you don't always see because you're so caught up in it and you're so, consumed by all of the things that are kind of, sometimes they're weighing you down, sometimes they're weighing you up. But it's that balance of understanding that this is a part of it and that it will come clear. And so here we are in this clear space speaking about it. I don't know if I could have had this been a part of this conversation last week. If you said, Suzanne, can we talk? I don't know if Ozioma would have been ready to talk about it. I think we needed the time to kind of, look beyond and breathe.
Yeah.
And really just look beyond and breathe and just think about what is going to be next.
I don't know why I want to cry. The moon's full. That's part of it.
Yes.
Okay. Because I love hearing it because it's like, I don't know. Have you guys shed tears yet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've started. It started actually 2 weeks prior because I knew something was coming.
Because it was bubbling.
Yeah, it was just like the bubbles were getting larger. They were getting a little bit more consistent.
It was spilling over.
And it was totally spilling over the pot. And it was starting to show.
Yeah.
And you try to contain all those things.
You try to wipe it out.
Yeah, we good. But it's like, no, actually, we're not good, and this isn't good, and no one is benefiting from this except for the individuals that own this space. And I think that one lesson that I will walk with this is, in any project that I am going to throw myself into, I want the ability to be able to purchase a building. And that's a huge comment. I want to own that shit.
I want to own that shit.
I want to own that shit.
I talk about it every day.
Start speaking that into existence. So powerful.
Yeah, words sound power.
So let's talk later.
Yeah.
I think it's something real, and I think I think large collectives make no sense. They're dangerous and silly. But I think partnerships and collaborations are extremely important.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
Alright. This is really good to know. Okay. So, what's really interesting Oh, you're not in Caribbean studies.
No.
Okay. So like I've added this story into every podcast for 10-10-10, which is really funny because anybody who's going to listen to all the podcasts will be like,
I've heard this before.
they tell the same story. But the story is interesting. So I'm in my last year, I don't know what year that was, Caribbean studies, and our professor comes into like a little classroom, like smaller than this space, and is like, upstairs in New College, you know those ones? Okay.
Yes.
So he says, okay, you guys, I want you to write an essay on whatever it is that you're thinking about, whatever's interesting to you. Write it for as long as it needs to prove your point,
Okay.
and hand it in when it's done. So we're all like, all right, sick, no problem. Someone's like, that's awesome. Yeah. So someone's like, hey, but so what is it exactly that we're writing about? And he's like, whatever you want. And someone's like, okay, no problem. But so how long does it need to be? And he's like,
as long as
it needs to be to prove your point. And then someone else sillily says, and when is it due, Professor? And he picks up the chair and he whips it across the room. And so we're all like, whoa, shit.
Shit just got real.
Yeah, shit just got
really real.
But the thing was, as he threw the chair, he said, free your minds.
Wow.
And it has sat with me. So this is a million years ago for me. But it sat with me so strongly because I realized, as my heart said, go check on him. So I checked on him for a few weeks. Are you okay? How's everything? Because it must be really stressful to feel free and watch everyone around you be cooped up in their brain.
Yeah.
And then, but every time I saw him, he'd be like, but this is the point. Is that you guys think that you have to do everything the same way because that's how they taught you.
Yeah.
But this is your chance to be free. Write about whatever is interesting to you. It will be interesting to me because it's interesting to you. That's all I want you to do.
That's
and so
beautiful.
Right? So it blew my mind. And so when it came to 10-10-10, I have all of these 10 authors and they're all like, okay, cool, I'm so excited. Okay, but what do I talk about on the podcast? Bless you. And I'm like, well, whatever you want. Bless you. And they're like, yeah, no, I totally, I get that.
What?
But what is it what's the thing? And I'm like, there's no thing. I'm not throwing any chairs. I'm just letting you have you just have a free space, it's your platform. And so that's what Author's Corner is all about. It's a platform for authors to talk about whatever the hell they want to talk about. And sometimes it's not about your book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're real humans. We're all Suzanne also, by the way, is an author, just saying.
Yes.
She's going to tell us about that later. And so why can't we, in terms of personal branding, in terms of 2017 and at least the next few years of social media craze, why can't we brand ourselves with the things that are really interesting?
Absolutely.
And also, why not cut out the bullshit? Because that's what's happening. Look at me on Instagram, I'm so fancy. Can we cut some bullshit somewhere?
Yeah.
Some of it. I know some people are naturally fancy. You know what I mean?
And that's okay. We like fancy.
Be fancy, but don't be bullshitty.
Yeah.
And that's my thing. But or what I want to say is be genuine.
Right.
And if you're genuine as fancy, I'm it's palpable. You can feel it. You know it's real. But then sometimes it's not. So that's what Author's Corner is about. Get real.
It.
Do what you do.
I love it.
Yay.
Can I ask who that professor was?
I can't say it on the podcast. I feel like I shouldn't, but I will tell you later.
Okay.
I don't know.
Because I actually had a prof this year who's so I feel like it could be the same guy, but I feel he wasn't a Caribbean studies prof, which is why I'm okay, it's not the same man. But I had a prof who was so obsessed with making us question everything. He's like, why do you think that this is the norm? You know what I mean? Just being able to literally step outside the box and view things from a different perspective. Because people think that they do that, but they really don't. You know?
I still I have to remind myself to do it. Wait, am I really critiquing this? Or am I just oh, this is what it is?
Yeah. It actually makes me think about when I, working with young chefs and they coming into my kitchen and I'm saying to, for example, I just left the Gladstone Hotel and I said to, the cook, I was like, okay, I need ingredients for 3 patties. I need meat, a vegetable, and something else. And she was like, okay, so what meat? Okay, whatever you would like. Okay, but what vegetables do I have to use? There's a beautiful fridge there. Whatever you feel like making, open that up. And she's like, but what? How much should I use? And I'm like, but so it touches totally on exactly what you guys are talking about. even in, you know, the world that I haven't been in university, oh my gosh, since,
it's okay. We didn't even talk about
we're not going to do the years. So just, you know, being in like, you know, I went to art school and, you know, I went to School of Visual Arts, and I remember studying in classes, and our teacher would say to us, you know, go do a shoot, just shoot. Take a roll of film and go and shoot. And then we'd be like, well, what do we shoot? Whatever you want to shoot. No. But do you want like 24 frames?
I go in a direction.
Exactly.
It's almost like a crutch. I feel like we kind of need someone because we've been conditioned to think a certain way and behave a certain way.
Yeah, and it's important. I think to have elders who are both patient and impatient with us.
Right.
Yes.
Like his impatience was my lesson.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I'm like, why is he so upset?
Yeah.
And then I have to be like, holy shit.
Get my
I get
why
it.
can't we just like actually just like free our minds?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so like my thesis ended up being like what I thought was amazing, because I talked about what I wanted to talk about. Like I talked about how like Blackness was this creation that like, especially in those days with BET and all the things that were on TV, it was like everybody was trying to like fit into that wave. And I was like, nobody's talking about it. I mean, people talk about it all the time now, but at the time nobody was talking about it.
Yeah.
And so like now for 10-10-10, and like the other part for me that's been great, because I'm typically like the elder that is patient. I'm learning to be impatient with things, because I think sometimes it's necessary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
Like just sometimes it has to be like, no, this is what it is. Pull your shit together.
Yeah.
But I'm usually the one that's like, okay, you know, it's all right. You're gonna do whatever it is that you're thinking about. So, what I've gotten an opportunity to do is watch each of the authors have this moment of like complete politeness, right? Like, oh hi, yeah, hi, I'm day 3 on the tour. I'm just calling to check in about the podcast.
With the shoulder.
And then I say, oh yeah, like, you know, it's whatever you want to talk about. And then there's this like instant of like defensiveness, like I really like structure, and I appreciate like organization.
Oh wow!
And, like,
interesting.
No one's been like intentionally feisty. Like I knew going into this that this is what was going to happen.
Right.
And so what I've got to witness is that part where they're like, you know, feeling like, oh, this is so disorganized, and like maybe I don't want to be a part of it, but really that's their own stuff coming up.
Right.
And I get it.
That's their own
like,
stuff.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To joining it and then like jumping in like they're fucking, because they realize that they're authors. Like you're an author, that means you create something out of nothing.
Yeah.
You're a creator. Like, so it's been so cool to watch people like, I'm gonna cut your
transformation.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, and then they're always like,
this is
that's what I thought.
I get it. You know, in low key, like I kind of feel like I know exactly where they're coming from. You know, Ozioma was like, Suzanne, we gotta get, you know, chef, we gotta get everything together for the podcast, and I'm like, okay, but what are we talking about? So we're just gonna go. Let's just be open-minded. And I'm like, yeah, but, you know, I gotta be in the kitchen. I gotta do this. I need to know. Like, what am I doing here? And she's like, I'm like, but I'm not an author. I haven't written anything. She's like, chef, let's just go. Chill. Just relax. I'll be with you. It's good. So, Azooma's here today.
I love this so much. And like, so one of the things that my elders have always done for us is remind us what freedom is. And like how things, the second something gets difficult and hard is like the second that you're no longer doing what you need to be doing. Like when it's convoluted and like, oh, blah, 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 like, and I do that with things. I'll be like, yeah, you know when you're tying your shoelace and like, my son is notorious for tying like 18 different knots. I don't know. Like, where is that?
How do you know?
And it's still not done up.
So what did you really get accomplished?
Doing? And he's just like, nah, like, check out these knots. For me, those knots are like convoluted, right? Like that's when life is like, I don't know what's going on. I'm so frazzled.
Yeah.
Like yesterday I had like, you know, like I think you know about my other company, Service Co. Shout out to Service Co. And so we had a whole bunch of like servers going to different events yesterday.
Okay.
And we had a podcast with DDP.
Oh, cool.
And my partner is like doing his thing with Fam TV. Shout out Fam TV. And then I have my kids, and I'm like,
this is a lot.
I hit that moment. You know that
Yes.
moment is like, don't call me. I'm mad. Like I don't know what I was. I was just mad.
Just eat it.
Just eat it.
I'm standing outside with the kids, like, don't even talk. No words.
Let's go.
Right? And when you meet my children, you'll be like, telling them not to talk is like the most difficult thing on the face of the planet. And so, like, I hit this moment of like hearing my mentor, like, so are you done yet?
Are you finished? Are you done?
And you're like, are you gonna be okay? Why are you making this so complicated? And I'm like, oh, right. Like the podcast is just a podcast,
Right.
and like all I have to do is park the car.
I knew it was that easy.
Yeah,
When you put it like that, I
yeah,
guess.
and then like one of our leads called. She's like, and so and so's not gonna be here, and I'm like, no.
Like,
What?
what is going on? Are you done yet?
Oh my god.
Hold on.
Let me just finish up.
I'm almost finished. One more piece in. I gotta get this. Okay, now it's done.
Yeah, and then I'm like, oh wait, I made it through that.
Yeah.
Whoops. And then my son and my daughter do this look with me all the time, like.
How you feel now? Like,
I think
My daughter, like, she doesn't care. Like, she cares. Like, she's like, but you're good. Pull it together. Like, I get the side eye, and I'm just like,
You're
all
like,
right, I'm a little embarrassed. Okay.
But what are their ages?
My son is 8, Azaan Moses Simcha.
Okay.
He'll be 9 in September 17th.
Beautiful.
And my daughter, Sekhi, she just turned 7 on the 1st of June.
Ah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
happy
they're-
birthday
thank
to you.
you.
As well.
Thank you. They're like my reason for coming to this planet this time. Like aside from the other things that I'm doing,
It's time.
you know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Because I think I feel like they've always been with me, like any lifetime I've had.
Yeah.
But so this other thing is bubbling up for me. I've like spoken at lots of different places, and one of the things that comes up for women all the time is that they usually introduce themselves as women or as mothers before they introduce themselves by what they do. And I never fucking do that. Like I'm always like, yes, hi, I'm Sheena from DDP. Oh yeah, I'm a mom.
I have kids.
Yes, I have a baby. Yes, that's right. Thank you.
But this is the thing. So like when those things started really bubbling up, I was like, is there something wrong with me? Like, am I not a good mom? Like, I really love my kids. They're like my priority, but like I love the shit out of what I do on this planet too.
Yeah.
And so like it started coming up for me, and like one of the guys that I work with is like, why can't it be understood that you're a great mom and a great entrepreneur? Like, what is the thing? Why would you have to introduce yourself as a mom? You talk about your kids all the time.
Right.
And I'm like, it's true. Like, I can be sort of more free.
Yeah.
Like, so,
That is,
it's real, right? Like, it hits the heart. Like, am I
Yeah.
a shitty mom?
girl, that's like my battle every single
Every
morning,
day.
every single day. Every single day.
And at least summertime, I'm feeling like my kids are bigger, right? So
Yeah.
this is the first summer that they're not doing like summer camp and swimming and gymnastics and
Activities.
activities, and they've been busy their whole lives, which like I think is important. But at the same time, it's like they needed some simmering time.
Gotcha.
But then this morning, my son said, and this is like, so this is spurring the whole conversation today. He said, Mom, I'm gonna go to VBS with Grandma today, because I want you to get some alone time. And he's been saying that for some days, and I'm like, I really appreciate that, kiddo. He's like the greatest man alive, my son. He really
that's
is.
amazing.
He is just like the greatest. And he says, but I know you need some space away from me, because I know that like me and Sekhi are a lot for you. And I was like, whoa, like hold the phone. That's not the thing. I need time alone because I'm a human, and you need time alone, but I don't need space away from you per se. Just like all other living beings.
Right? Yeah.
And he was like, are you sure? And I'm like, I'm positive, bro. You're like the greatest
cool.
thing. Yeah, like that. Like,
Yeah.
he gets up, he'll make breakfast for everybody.
What?
He'll be like, Mama, sit down, put your feet up. I'm gonna make eggs. Like, I'm gonna try a new style. Like, he's just they're the coolest kids. I'm so grateful that they picked me.
Oh, yes. Yes, because we have been chosen. This is like, these little living beings are like
and you're the one. And you're like, wait, me? What?
Yeah. It's just like, they're so special. And I look at my son every morning, and I'm always just like, when I get home from, work, and I just look at him like, how did you get here?
Yeah.
Like, how did you find me? Like, how did we find each other? And, like, what are we going to do together? What are we about to do together? Because this is such a precious moment in our lifetime to be able to really, share these moments with another person. And, because before it was me and my husband, and, before that, it was like just me and my girls, like in my crew. But it's like, now it's like this person like replicates my mother, replicates me, replicates my grandmother, the elders, everyone in his family. It's just like, it's so much. It's trippy.
Yeah.
Every single.
It's the best. Seriously, the best decisions I've ever made.
I love this.
It's really, really like, even, my girlfriends that their kids are now teenagers, they are like, I'm so happy to know that this feeling never changes. Like, they're I look at my teenager and I'm just like, what is happening? Like, how do you, I'm like, okay, good. It keeps getting, it lasts. It's everlasting.
So. But I mean, like, of course, like, the madness is real. Like, I'm like, you are driving me actually insane.
Oh, yes. Like, please step away from mama.
You have to go to the wall.
Yes.
I don't know what I'll do next.
Yes.
Yesterday, so we were at Onyx Barbers yesterday.
Yeah.
With Kelvin Gums. He is the illustrator and author of Black Sun, The Longest Night. If you have not found this comic,
no.
Oh, God, look into
you
that.
have to, and read it with your baby. It's
okay.
Like,
ooh.
it's like, see, what Kelvin does is like, he doesn't just do like a comic, like, oh, here's a black comic, but it's like those things that we hold dear in our homes, like being real and honest, like self-awareness.
Yeah.
So that's what I take. I mean, like, we were having this conversation with all men yesterday. They're like, yeah, that's like kind of it. And I'm like, no, but like the main character. They're like, I was like, yeah, like that. But I mean, like, he's just really a self-aware guy too, right? And so, so this is a gush moment. So my son, he's like coming around. They were there yesterday. They're taking pictures. And they come around the side and they're like, Mom, we want to help Mr. Kelvin sell his books. And I'm like, oh, that's so sweet of you. Remembering that I have taught them about free enterprising. And so, like, when the podcast is done, they're like, they start the negotiation. Like, if we sell your books, how much do you sell your books for? He says 15. They're like, perfect. We sell them for 10. We sell them for 15. You take 10. We take 5.
Perfect.
Let's make money, baby.
My son's like, I want to buy that fidget spinner thing. I'm like, well, I'm not buying it for you. They know that you guys live in a free enterprising space.
Figure it out.
I'm not buying things for you other than your clothes and your food and your house.
Yeah.
You will have a way to figure out how to make money. There's food, like, so they sell like 4 books. They make $20. They buy the fidget spinner.
Just like that.
Just like that?
Regular.
Let's make it happen, baby.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just regular things.
I love it.
Love it.
And all the men them are looking at like, what just happened here? And I'm
Just
like,
got finessed.
They just got, yes.
And at first I'm kind of like, because my kids can be like over the top in my brain, right? And then I have to remember that like other people are receiving them on a different plateau.
Totally.
And like them selling this. So now I'm like, wait, like they're creators. Like this is what you guys do.
Yeah.
So the other thing they do in the summer times, it's this store called the Freezy Shop. And they're like a portable Freezy shop. And they go to bus stops and they sell Freezies. Like really that simple. And like the coolest thing is like watching them figure out how to make money and count it and like, because I keep telling them, they're like, Mom, how come people say money is bad? I'm like, I don't know why people say that. It's like a weird, like Christian, like African thing holds you down thing. I don't know what it is, but like you don't get to hold on to it. Like not in this house because money is like it doesn't exist. Yeah. So you can have as much or as little as you want.
It's so perishable. As quick as it comes to you, it's as quick as it leaves you. There's no ownership on it. It's it's,
So
you know.
learn the fact that you can create it wherever you are.
Yeah.
Like I think that's the thing, you know, like you want that fidget spinner, cool, because I'm not buying it for you, but
Figure
but
it
they
out.
bought like a golden fidget
That
spinner.
is
We
crazy.
and like you know, fidget spinners are that bad. It's like mini, like
I'm a fidget spinner.
It did.
don't fidget it on your nose, okay? Let's go. So I'm standing at the sink this morning doing some dishes, which, you know what's funny? I'm always mad that I have to do them, but then like when I'm doing them, I'm like, well, okay.
I feel good. I'm doing that.
I know.
That's always the case.
I'm
It's
like, how come nobody did it? Like, I don't know.
See, I can't really talk on that because my
do.
husband does do the dishes
Got it.
always. Shout out to you, Johnny. And thank you very much.
Johnny. Shout out. That is a good thing. So, okay. Oh, I love that he does the dishes. It's a
And the
big deal.
laundry. And cleans the house. Yeah, he's pretty awesome. Like I love you, baby.
Okay, well, I like that vibration. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm standing there doing the dishes, and I have this moment of like, I want to go away. I want to go away by myself, but like in a cabin type something, where like I'm on my own, but like in the middle of nature. But I'd like
Nice.
water. I'd like an ocean. You know, something simple.
Lake, something.
ocean, whatever. But I want to be on my own. And then I don't know. This thing comes over me. This feeling of like, I'm scared to death to be by myself. Because I'm like, okay, you know, I'll go into silence. Cool, I've done this before a million times. I'll take like 2 days of silence. And then for some reason, I'm like overwhelmed by this feeling of like, do I actually want to be alone right now? Right. And I don't know if you guys ever do this. I don't know if this is a regular thing or if this is just a Sheena thing. But I'm going through the Rolodex in my mind of like sisters I can call to talk about the shit that's going on in my mind.
Yes, of course.
Okay,
of
good.
course.
That's regular.
Yes,
and
it's
I go
regular.
through it. I'm like, nah, I don't want to talk to them. Nah. I don't
Yes.
I know.
Oh yeah.
Like,
That's gonna be like, nah. She's gonna go into it, and I don't really want to talk about her. I love her, but no, I can't.
Not today.
Not today, cousin. Not today.
So like I go through the Rolodex and I realize that there's nobody I want to talk to.
Okay.
And then I'm hearing my elders like, so when are you going to talk to yourself? And the answer is just like, what's the thing? You know what I mean? And I'm realizing like, holy shit, I don't want to talk to me. So now I'm having this conversation with me like, I don't want to talk to you. Like, why don't you want to talk to me? I don't know. I'm scared to death to hear what you're going to have to say. Like, there's some big decisions happening in my life, and I don't want to know what you have to say. And then she's like, what do you mean you don't want to know? And I'm overwhelmed by this like idea of knowing some things.
Yep.
Like I know them.
Yes.
But then there's things that I don't fucking
Fucking
know.
know.
And then I'm like, but then I'm not. Like, I don't know. So that's what I wanted to bring today. Like, that thing of being a woman. One, I'm so glad to hear that everyone does that Rolodex thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. And you know what Rolodex means?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're like,
make sure
wait a
it's
minute.
millennial.
You can't even see what
We're
I'm
not
like.
talking ages, but you know.
No, I
Just say it. Just gotta bring it up. Just gotta
No, but
check.
sometimes I say to millennials and they're like, you know, when we talk about rotary phones and they're like, what does that look like?
I was just at a shop with my son and he was going crazy over the. I'm like, baby, this used to be a phone. It's a regular phone. Grandma used to have us in the house and I used to sneak it into my room to try to talk to my friend.
And the cords can be nice and long.
Yes. Like, Suzanne, what?
You can hear me.
You got the phone. I see the cord. What are you talking about? You see the cord.
Yes, Mom?
Yes.
Or like when you're on like the last digit and you mess it up.
Yeah.
It was like a dream for me. Like, but then life, I don't like. Okay, so I don't know what this thing is now of like comparing now to then because
Right.
life was just different. It just was.
Yeah.
Like all things were very different. We were driving without cell phones and it wasn't unsafe. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
It was regular. Oh, something happened. I'm at a payphone. Like,
I actually will just meet you there. I can't call you when I get there, but I will meet you there at
we'll
3
see each other
o'clock.
At 3. And if you're not there at 3, you'll probably be there at 3:15.
Exactly. But why she ain't here? It's 3:15.
That's me. I'm releasing that shit. So that's what's been coming up for me a lot lately.
Yeah.
Is like, as I'm getting older, there's things that I'm like knowing for sure.
Yeah.
And then there's things that I'm like scared of knowing for sure. You know what I mean?
I'm like scared. I don't, and then I'm like bothered that I'm scared because I'm not supposed to be scared. Like I know how to. I have the tools. I have all the mentors.
It's like a never-ending like. Why am I feeling this way?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my gosh.
And then but not like in my 20s. It was more of like a physical, like maybe I don't know. Just look, I don't know what the feel. It was weird.
Yes.
Maybe,
I got you.
Yeah. I'm like, no, I'm flying. All right.
Yes.
I'm like, wait, like it's like existential thoughts. Like what's really the thing? And like I know that my kids pick me. Like I know that in my soul. And then those times where I'm like, am I a shitty mom? Like I'm so serious about business. That's my life. And then I have these beings that are like, Mom, I need you right now. I'm like, bro, I don't want to talk about Zelda. Real talk.
Like I'm not interested right now.
Mama needs to go and handle this right now. I will be right with you.
And then so it's like a constant. I don't want to say battle because it's not a battle.
It's not a battle, and if I can just speak on that, because I feel like you really are, like, especially right now for me with the closing of the dinette and this unknown like this just whole world has like completely opened up for me and my family and my team and everyone that I have collaborated and will collaborate with. It's totally open. But I'm so freaked out. I'm so not overwhelmed, but I'm just like, whoa, there is a whole nother story here, a whole nother thing here that I have not even factored in. I didn't factor this in. If someone said to me a month ago, will you guys be open on Monday for brunch? Of course, yes. 7 days a week. 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Yes. No, we're not open for brunch. What's going to happen now? I feel it, like I know, but I don't know. And I don't want it to make it mean. I don't want it to be like, okay, I'm going to start filling in things to be like, okay, it's going to be this, it's going to be this. I don't even want to sit down, because I used to do that thing in my 20s where I was like, write your list.
Yeah.
I was a list girl.
Should I not be doing that?
Well, do it now.
Do it now. It's just to get it all out of you, because it gets so overwhelming when it starts to bottle us up. And in a beautiful way, but it's easy sometimes where you could just write it out and be like, okay, there it is. Okay, there it is.
I'm going to do this on my 5-year plan and my 10-year plan. And absolutely, that's what I...
Yeah. I don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I can't. I make my list for like, okay, I need to put the chicken in the oven. I need to make the marinade for this. I need to pick Miles up. Those are the short little practical day-to-day, but big picture, I don't do that anymore. And I'm wondering, should we do it again? If we're here telling Ozioma to do that, should we?
We're just caught up in the thick, but you're in the thick too. You're just in a different thick.
True.
It's just a different thickness. I think we should do it again. I think we should hold each other accountable to do it again. Because
I know, see what you can get.
Yeah.
Like I know we both have that like really big vision that we're like, it's that so big that we're just like, I don't even know how to get there, but I know I'm gonna get there. Because I've already done the little visions that I had envisioned in my 20s. Like I've hit them now. Cool.
Right. Totally.
But the big one, I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna get there. But now it's like, so I'm glad that this came up, because then I guess this is like where, and I don't know if I can just say this for women, but like intentionality.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like first of all, let me just say that a millennial helped me come up with 10-10-10, but she actually called it 20-20-20. Can you imagine? She's like, so you're just going to get 20 authors and go to 20 countries on 20 days. Where the hell?
Like, pull back, sister. Hold up.
And I had to say, like, first I was like, we advertised this 20-20-20 for a long time, and I was like, then my spirit is like, I bet you
got me see this.
Hold up.
Reel it in. And I had to like go inside of myself, because I felt like, my whole team was ready for 20-20-20. Everybody's pumped. Everything's been out, and I'm like, Sheena, you have to make a decision. This is life or death at this point, because I'm on day 6 and I am exhausted. And it's not because like, oh, it's so much work. It's just like, I also am still running 2 businesses. Yeah. And I also am like, it's sharing space with people. It's lots of stuff. And every day is lots.
Yeah.
So then, like, I hit this point where I called her. I said, look, I'm not doing 20. I'm doing 10.
Cut that
I
out.
might even do 5. Real talk. And she was like, well, 5 might be it. I don't know.
Can we just go for 10?
I'll take 10.
I'll take 10.
Sounds pretty good.
That sounds about right. Yeah, 10. That's what it is.
So that's why we're at 10, 10, 10.
I love it.
Right? And so, like, but what I've been finding, like, even in terms of personal branding for Sheena Blake, the entrepreneur, and, like, in terms of having conversations with other women who create out of nothing, who create money for themselves and for other people out of nothing. Now it's like, the conversations that we have to have are not like Gary Vee. And Gary Vee, I'm shouting you out. I love you, dog. But my conversations are not the same as yours, boo. Because while you're out hustling 24/7, I got babies to look at, love on, hold on to, and you do too. But your woman is home taking care of your babies, and I don't know what his life looks like. But all the big guys that I'm here, Les Brown, Tony Robbins, like, I slept out of my car. Great. I lose my babies if I do that for my dreams.
Yeah. No, it's true.
You know what I mean? And so, like, I'm pushing myself because I know part of my vision is to be that voice for women, for female entrepreneurs, where it's like, no, you're not going to work 24/7. Stop it. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
You will
yes,
die.
you need to go to sleep.
Yes, you need to sleep. Yes, you need to love up on somebody. Yes, you need to love up on yourself. If you have babies, yes, you have to love up on them.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, I love that, you know, that hustle mentality. I'm like, it's so awesome, but you cannot sustain it.
Yeah.
It is unsustainable. Like a business that requires only service and no product, it is unsustainable.
Right.
We all know this because there's only so many hours in a day. So how now do we, like, what is push? What is motivation? What is internal motivation? And what is it to be, like, actually alive and know who you are?
Right.
So, like, going through 10, 10, 10, but what was 20, 20, 20 publicly has been awesome.
Right.
Because it means that I have to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like, y'all are watching me. You saw me go from, like, 20, 20, 20 to, like, 9, 10, 10, and that's it. Can I try? Can I get a 2? Can I get a 1? That'll just be me.
I'm the author.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
So now, like, I'm pumped because, one, like, I mean, I get to meet with women, and I consider all authors entrepreneurs as well, but you happen to also, like, be just entrepreneur. I didn't use an R in entrepreneur.
I'm an
but it's
entrepreneur,
okay.
but we got you. Yeah, we
It's
got
okay,
you.
You heard it. I know what the word is.
We got
I
it.
may not be able
Yeah.
to spell it, bro.
I don't think many people know how to spell it properly. They're like, autocorrect. Thank you.
Thank you. You must know what I'm saying. What do you mean you don't know what I'm saying? You know what that happens?
You know what I'm saying, girl. Stop it.
Come on,
Just
Google.
stop it.
So what is your take on this?
Wow. Well, I feel like you were literally pulling words from my mouth. And, since, the beginning, since 3.5 years ago that we opened the Dinette, I opened that, the day I opened was the day I found out that I was pregnant.
Oh my goodness.
Literally, I hadn't been,
one time.
I was a lot. And I hadn't know, I hadn't been feeling well, and I had reached out to my physician, and I said, let's do something because I'm not feeling good.
Something's not right
Something's
within
not
me.
right. Something's not right. And I'm literally in the car on the Gardner, just getting ready to turn onto Carla. My doctor's on the phone. Hey, Suzanne, it's Dr. Harris. Hey, Dr. Harris. So we got the results back. I know what's been going on with you. And I'm like, oh man, good, because this is crazy talk. Like, I am not feeling good. And I am headed to the restaurant. I got a truck full of chairs. I'm opening tonight my restaurant. This is so great. He's like, oh yeah, it's so great. But I might have to slow down a little bit. I'm going to come and see you. You and Johnny have to come in and see me. I'm like, oh, okay.
Like, this is serious stuff?
It's serious. He's like, because you're pregnant. And I'm like, wait, what? Huh? Wait, huh? I went through every emotion in like 2.2 seconds. Like crying to laughing to like hyperventilating to like, huh? Because our whole story, our whole intention behind Saturday Dinette was, me in the kitchen, Johnny in the front, two of us running it, two people in the back kind of helping us, and that was it. It was going to be a hustle. I launched the Dinettes program. I was working collectively with the YWCA. I hired 4 young ladies that I was going to personally train on how to cook. I was going to give them the skills and the
You're
tools.
amazing, by the way.
Thank you, by the way. So are you. I was giving them the skills and the tools to be able to, champion themselves in this industry, because there is a lack there of women in the industry that are doing things.
Yeah.
We are represented, but few and far between are there kitchens that women are running. And that there are kitchens that women are holding it down. We are in there, and we are, maybe in the back. We might be in baking department. We might be in garde manger. We might be in the offices. We might be in the front of the house. But really in the kitchen. Like blood sweating and running the line, burn up, cut up, bleed up, whatever, sweat up. Like, we're doing it, and being a woman of color. That was my intention. That was my whole thing. I was like, I am opening this restaurant to educate and teach women. That was it. And now here I am, pregnant, running into the bathroom every 5 minutes. The first 3 months, it was crazy. So to hear you say this about us trying to do all these things and being so inspired by the things that we want to create, that is everything I'm about. But it is hard work. It is a lot to get up every morning. When I just got home maybe 7 hours before from a full shift, working 12, 15 hours on my feet, now getting up, mommy duty hat is on. Drop baby boy off at daycare, mommy hat off.
Yep.
Chef hat on.
But also leader hat on.
Leader hat on. Mentor hat on.
Big sister on.
Big sister on.
Yeah.
The hats that we put on constant, and then we have to peel off, and we have to put them back on, and then we have to wear, because there is this expectation that's so consistent and that's just so rampant that comes, and we don't want to let ourselves down, nor do we want to let our people down, our team down. So it's this internal battle with yourself. With am I doing enough? Can I do more? Should I do more? Am I a good mom? Am I a good wife? Am I a good partner? Am I a good mentor? Ozioma and I had been working together as, she's been on my team, and I literally was like, I need help. I need someone that is on, literally can be with me and say, chef.
I know, I really need that. When I heard her voice, I was like, oh my God. She takes everything.
And she does.
She's so good, eh?
She came to us literally walking past the restaurant. She lived in the neighborhood, and my husband literally stopped her and said, what are you doing? And she was like, I'm going home.
What do you mean?
Do you need a job? I don't know. Maybe. He's like, we're hiring. Come meet my wife. Come on.
Straight up.
Come on. And she came in, we met, she started, and she's been with us she's been in our life for over 1.5 years now. And she is family. She is now, decided, and I totally support her decision to kind of take a step back, because serving and being in it like that is a lot. But I said, okay, I'll let you go, but you can't go too far.
Yeah.
I need help to get the businesses, all these other businesses up and running. The cookbook, the Dinettes program, the cooking classes.
I'm hoping that you're going to call me about the cookbook. Just saying.
Here we are.
Okay.
Here we are. It's like asking for help is another thing that we as women do not always feel confident that we can do.
And what's the thing? Because I can remember, my mother still doesn't ask for help. My mother will still be like,
yeah, I can do
need
it.
your help to do all of this. And then I do it.
I love
I
it.
don't understand.
But you actually need help.
But yeah,
I know you do.
That big house by herself. There's none of us left there. She romanticizes it. I think it's really real. She's like, I've got no man, I've got no kids, and I have a house. I'm chilling. She travels the world.
Word!
She's
I love
Her
it.
life is she's like, yeah. I'm like, you want to watch this? She's like,
nah.
Germany.
Yes!
Okay. So, but then now, here my life comes, and I'm like, first, one of the things we talked about yesterday, because it was all dads, right? And we were talking about parenting, and they're like, well, we, like, I love how men do this. Like, we have to be the first ones to teach our kids things. And I'm like, but, like, what? Like, I don't know when I certifiably became an adult. Like, I don't know when it happened and when I, like, knew things.
Yeah.
My kids ask me questions like, I don't know.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
I really don't know. Like, some things, like, one day my son was like, hey, Mom, like, I know there's, like, the sun and the moon and the sky and the earth and the planets and the galaxy, but, like, what is it all? And I was like, maybe you should ask Dad. He might know, and he did, and his daddy was like, maybe you should ask your teacher. So he asked his teacher, and she called me like, so Azaan Moses asked me this.
You're like, it's made.
Here it comes, I don't know. And like, even things, like, so this is the part for me now, that, like, there's some things I just don't know.
Yeah.
And so in terms of being a parent, but also in terms of being an entrepreneur and, like, going with my gut on things and, like, trying to figure out, how many women in my life are, like, going so hard that they forgot that they're even going. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just like, bam, like, I talked to 3 sisters this morning that were like, hello? Like, they're so sick. They're, like, actually physically sick now.
Wow.
And, like, what we do as, like, a collective of sisters is, like, and it's time for you to cancel that appointment for tomorrow and book it for 3 days away. Yes. I can't do it. Why can't you?
Because I said I was going to do it.
Right. And we do this thing, these, like, weird notions of propriety that I'm just like, fuck it. And I remember when my elders taught us the fuck it principle. Sometimes you just have to say no. Yeah. You gotta be like, you know what? I have to reschedule this appointment. Like, if they don't understand, they don't need to be your client.
There you go.
Wasn't that like that?
If she doesn't get it, then keep it moving.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
There's so much, there's an abundance of everything here.
And you don't understand, like, where that's coming from, and that this is a big deal for me to even reach out and say to you, I actually cannot commit to this appointment. Can we reschedule for a later date? For you to thank you. And for it to become something more, but then it becomes something more in our own self. Oh my gosh, they're not gonna call me, and oh gosh, how were they gonna think?
They'll never be able to afford anything. I'm gonna lose the house. Oh my god, because they're gonna starve.
Exactly.
They'll never go to university.
Yeah. They're gonna hate me forever. They'll never forgive me. They will. They do.
Not that deep. Like, my dad will watch me go through, because I think for me those thoughts are like very outside.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, where are you going? Like, chill out. It's not that deep. But I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right.
Oh, you saw that? Shit.
So now I'm in the habit of, like, going to worst case. Like, I go to worst case. Okay, worst case, they hate my company. Okay.
That's not too bad.
So what if they hate my company? That's just what it is.
That happens.
Oh, okay. Like,
okay.
I mean, preferably, everybody loves us.
Yeah.
But, like, in that off chance that someone is having a day where they're scared to cancel their appointment and I cancel mine and they feel like, fuck you for canceling the appointment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm excited now to, like, I've been doing this thing. There's 2 things that I've been, like, doing consciously for the last 6 months. And I've never said them out loud. So I'm excited to
all right.
So the first thing that I've been doing very consciously is never saying thanks, but I always say thank you. Whether I'm typing it or saying it, I always say thank you. And if I accidentally say thanks to someone, like with the door holding it open, I'll stop, look them in the eye, and say thank you. Yeah. Because this one woman taught me a long time ago in service, thank you goes a lot longer than thanks. Yeah. Like, literally it does, thank you. So it seems really not deep, and I'm sure no one ever notices, but for me, it's like I am doing this on purpose.
Yeah.
It's intentional.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is not saying sorry. I don't say sorry for things. Like, if I step on your toe, I am sorry for that. But
I should have stepped on your toe.
You don't know what the universe is about right now.
I didn't mean to step on your toe. That's it.
Period.
So I can say sorry? No.
Because you know when someone's on the other line, like, oh, so sorry, can you hold on for a second? And they go, so sorry about that. Why am I sorry for that shit?
Yeah.
People are calling my phone.
Yeah.
Could you hold on a second? Thanks so much for holding.
Yeah.
And so now, like, so what it has done is, like, oh my gosh, there's so many books about this, but, like, incremental steps, right? Like, little changes in your day-to-day which affect the large piece of it. And so what that has done for me now is that, like, I no longer, with some things, hold on to those big pieces of, like, I shouldn't do this. Because now I'm like, if you can't manage, like, one, I'm hoping that I'm a living testament for you to recognize, oh, okay, I can actually be kind of free. I do my best to be as free as possible.
Right.
Like, I'm wearing a bra right now, but, like...
In about 6 hours, trust, I'll be free.
And so that's the part that I love. And in terms of being an entrepreneur, in terms of personal branding, I'm like, I think we're all really ready for honesty, integrity, and authenticity, but not the one that we've all been like, oh, let's be authentic and raw. Like, yes. Like, I'm super cool.
I get you. Right.
Yeah, right. Like incense and cool. Like, I am that. Like, come to my house, you'll see, like, crystals and all of that. But, like, I'm also, like, on a business level, I'm very serious about, like, this is who you're going to get as an entrepreneur. The rest of my team, they're different. And, like, a lot of them are, like, way cooler than me. Really. Like, I'm like, wow, you're so cool.
Yeah,
I gotta go.
Together.
I'm so glad for them. I don't know what I'd do without them. And so now it's like, why can't we all continue to be who we actually are and allow that to continue to progress without being ashamed of any of it?
You know, you say something.
Go ahead, finish your thought. It's still sitting in my mind.
I mean, I feel like a lot of it is and I hate to say this, but I do feel like a lot of it is fear.
It's just truth.
You know, I think that we want to call it something else. We don't want to call it fear.
Yeah, because it makes us look weak.
Yeah, like, I'm not weak.
I'm not scared of anything.
Like, I'm not scared of anything. I could do anything I want to do.
Just see what I do?
Yeah. Like, did you see, like, and you're right. You're right. You can do whatever you want to do. And yes, you are right. You know what? You can create mountains. You can, but really, truly, fear is so powerful. And it is even recognizing it and calling it what it is one thing that we don't always do. We're so scared to call it what it is because we're so fearful that the fear is going to even take us into the fear.
Yeah, like acknowledging it draws us closer.
Like, so making it really scary. So, you know, confronting it face on, you know, like taking every moment for what it is. Really swallowing what is happening in that very moment in this conversation what we are speaking about right now. Really just taking this exact moment and accepting the fact that we are just talking on a conversation that when we walk away from this, we're going to battle it once again.
Yeah.
But if we can call it for what it is when we're in it, and we can actually really face it. You know, I remember I had a mentor. You know, I love that you have so many people in your life that have impacted you. And I remember when here I go with my age. I'm giving my age away. It ain't a thing. It's not. I'm 40 and I love it. You know, and I own that shit. But I had the opportunity in my early 20s to go to the Million Women's March.
OMG.
And that...
How come every time you talk, I'm like, now my body is like... too many goosebumps.
You know, and that still to this day gives me... Still to this day, and it has been, oh my gosh, like over 20 years. Still to this day, it gives me goosebumps thinking about the moment that I made a decision to go, knowing that I didn't pay my rent, and I hadn't really told anyone that I was going.
Yeah.
And I was just going to do this thing that I didn't know anything about. Someone said, hey, there's a bus. My girlfriend was at Spelman, and I was living in Atlanta at the time. And I was like, okay, let's go. Let's just do this. And I did this, and I went with my camera and a backpack, And I really, truly was on my own because my girlfriend was in a sorority and she was with her crew. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to kind of document. I'm just going to experience. And I remember sitting, and I can't remember exactly the congresswoman's name. She was from California at the time. Oh, she was speaking. And her words, like lifted me up in a way that I had never felt this empowerment to be a woman, and then on top of it, a sea of women of color. And it was the most magical, and it still to this day makes this impact on me that I was a part of that. That we can be a part of these moments in our life when we recognize them for exactly what it is, when we're in it. Not what it's going to be in an hour, not what it's going to be hindsight, not what it's going to be in 2 years, what this is going to be. Who's listening to this podcast and in 2 years is going to be like, wow, I'm having this moment. Yes, I want you to have this moment right now. Right now. You know, things are going so fast. We're moving so fast. We're trying to take on the world. We're trying to make everything mean something. Or sometimes we just need to slow down, like your kids, slow them down, breathe, and go again. You know? Because that moment in time is so special, and we don't always get a chance to remember it, and it gets harder to remember it as we get older. But if we can just really just focus on that moment when we're in it, I think we'll all be a little bit lighter.
Shit.
Because I feel heavy sometimes.
Right?
Oh, I don't know. I do. I feel heavy a lot of days in my life, and so heavy that I feel like I can't even lift myself up out of bed.
Yeah, yes.
Because I want to do so much.
And then I feel shitty, like, come on, what's wrong with you? Oh, you're tired now? What did you even do yesterday?
Yeah. You know, and it's so fucking real. And we don't talk about it. We just have to live it, and we just keep pushing on through.
I'm over it.
I'm over it.
Like, really, I'm done. Because I feel like now, oh, I'm so glad you're here.
I'm so glad to
I'm
be
really
here.
glad you guys are here. Because it's so real. Like, as you're speaking, I'm realizing I'm confronting this idea in my head that, like, me being a millionaire, when I was a little girl, when I was in elementary school, I had a vision of becoming Prime Minister of Canada. And then, whatever the thing was in the time, I was thoroughly convinced that as a woman and as a black woman, there's absolutely no way I could have a husband and children and be Prime Minister. There's no way. And so I put it down. I was like, I don't want to. I mean, I no longer want to be Prime Minister, but it was that thing that I was. So as I move forward, and like the thought of millions for some reason doesn't include my babies. It means that I have to be very like corporate but then no. Like I'm confronting that idea right now, and I'm pulverizing it right now. So thank you for that strength. I really
Absolutely.
I needed that, because I don't think I was thinking about it that way.
I'm just gonna say that moments like those, I think they really shift your perspective, and they kind of just ground you when you remember that. And I think it's important to sort of maybe think about that every morning when you wake up and be like, well, this is a new day. And so I have to I know it sounds corny, but like it's a new day, and I have to make something out of it, you know? So yes, let me think about that one moment where I felt so empowered, because it's gonna shift my entire perspective. I woke up and I was like, I'm not trying to get out of bed today. I don't wanna go to the gym. I don't wanna do anything. But let me think about it, and I remember what it is that I'm reaching for, what I'm trying to get to, and it just shifts your perspective, and it shifts your entire energy, and then you get the energy that you need, and you're able to get out of bed and do what you need to do, I think.
I mean, I remember when you said to me, I think we were either Saturday or Sunday brunch, and you said that you remember reading about this one, I don't know if he was a millionaire, this one entrepreneur, every single day he drank a glass of warm water before he left the day. Like, that was the first thing he did. Didn't pick up his cell phone, didn't check his cell phone, didn't do anything. Like, glass of water, warm water, drink that, sit on the toilet.
Hydrate, urinate, everything you want to do, 8.
And then his day started. And, you know, it was like, I remember doing that for the first 2 days. And I was like, oh, this is, you know, and saying to Johnny, like, okay, baby, just give me, go to daddy. Like, mama's going to go, I'm going to go for a drink, and I'm just going to go do this. And, you know, like, really, like, it's almost, it's so ritualistic. It's so, it's so humbling to yourself, because we don't give ourselves enough gifts in life. We don't. I feel like we're always like, oh, I need to do that for that person. Oh, she was so great, or he was so awesome, or oh, I got to give that. I got to donate this to this. I'm going to support. You know, and it's like we're constantly doing that. But when do we actually say, I'm going to do this for me? And it's not from this selfish like I'm going to be big, like, it's like, no, like.
The Tao says selfishness is the key to all selflessness.
That's true, because you have to take care of yourself.
And like, so, have you heard of Sacred Leaders International, Sacred Women International?
No.
Sacred Leaders. So when you do get a chance to look them up, because it is because of this that I now know who I am and my power, or at least I've gotten a glimpse of her and how far she can actually spread her wings.
Right.
Because it's a 10-month intensive program with elders and sisters where you have to fucking get real with yourself. Like, there's no way around it. It's so intense. Like, it's why, my head was entirely shaved.
Gotcha.
And I started all over again.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I learned about myself is that, like, I approach situations thinking that I'm either better than something or worth less than something.
Got it.
And how that affects the rest of my navigation of the thing is problematic for me.
Right.
So now I get to, like, reassess, like, I'm coming at this like this, got it, cool, step back, come again.
Got it.
Let me come at this, not like, oh, non-judgment, not that.
Right.
Here's what I am, who I am, and I'm open to receiving all of who you are and what you are.
Right.
And we can come in the same space and build something together. Because remember, I don't know if you guys ever read or listened to Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Do you remember that?
I think I've read about it though.
Really great. You know what? Honoring to your family, Dr. Stephen. He's no longer present on this planet. He talks about, like, everyone always talks about. Oh my goodness, what's the word? Like, not sacrifice, but like. We both compromise. People talk about compromise all the time, and he was like, that is bullshit.
Right.
Because compromise means that both of us lose something.
Yeah.
And neither of us are totally happy.
Right. So
how many of our relationships, especially in Black families, are like, the big people tell us, you got to stay together, you got to compromise. But then there's a piece of something missing every time, and it just builds.
Yep.
And so what Dr. Stephen Covey was talking about is that, like, it's not about compromise. It's about the win-win-win. There is a way for you to win, me to win, and then we both win, so the win is bigger.
Yep.
And so, like, that's why communication is so important. Here's what I really need. But my thing is that I'm releasing is sometimes I'm not honest with myself.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm scared of, like, if I don't want something, it means something about me as a woman. Right. If I don't want a relationship, if I don't want to do this with my kids, it means something about me. And then what if people realize that I'm, like, actually shitty?
Yeah, right.
Don't let them know.
That's not really me. I'm having a bad day, girl.
And so then, people always say, like, be yourself. And I'm always like, that is, like, so fucking mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Because for myself, as I get older, I'm still wondering, okay, what is it I want? I say that to myself, like, in almost every moment that I can. Like, I'll say it out loud. What do I want right now?
Right.
Because I have to say it firmly now, because I'm like, what do I want? Oh, like, whatever they want. What the fuck? What do I want? I fucking don't. Like, today, I put this on, and my dad has, like, PSWs that help him, and da-da-da, and she's like, why are you wearing those pants? I don't have to take off the pants. And I was like, because, and I said, like, I went to go take them off at first. I was like, no, because like she's right, it's gonna be hot, and I was like, I fucking want to wear pants.
Pants. I'm okay in my pants.
That's
what I put on.
That's why I'm doing it. I have worn these pants 3 days in a row. They fit my bum really well, right? There's a hole in them that are so inappropriate, and my partner's like, "Can you throw them away?" I'm like, "Nah,
not be able to do
I'm
that."
good.
Yeah, I'm good.
I got them at Forever 21, and they fit my ass. So I'm aware of these.
I'm good.
And now, like, okay, so let me, like, now I'm just like, let me celebrate small victories. Because I can't say that I'm doing this, like, oh, this is what I do every single day. No, I go to football practice and I'm like, for my son, like, let me get a Tim Hortons because everybody bought Tim Hortons. Like, I don't fucking want to go to Tim Hortons. But I don't do that. Like, I get caught up in the thing. So now I just celebrate the little ones. Like, no, I wore my pants today because I wanted to.
That's right. Because you know what? It's those little victories sometimes that they will pay off in such a way that you're like, oh my gosh, but I felt good in that intent. I said what I wanted to say. No, I will wear these pants again. And yes, it will be okay again. But thank you.
Thanks
I love
for the
you.
input, though.
Yes.
And I'm not sorry.
I am not sorry.
Because my thing, I get caught up a lot with elders. Like, I don't ever want, like, I was raised to be very respectful of elders, so I'm very conscious of, like, how I speak with them and how, I'm like, my posture changes. Like, it's a ridiculous thing, right?
Yes.
But it's funny because when I say raised, my parents didn't raise me that way. Like, my dad was like, you give respect to people who give you respect. That's how my parents always said.
Right.
But for some reason,
you found that.
This is like the deep Nigerian in me, where I'm just like, elders come and
Are
I'm
you
like,
serious?
well, my dad is like but because culturally that's a thing, right? But like, this is something that, like, in my soul, I've just been this way.
Yeah.
So like, I get around elders and I'm like, okay, let me, like, be so humble and do whatever they say because they're my elder and they know more than me. And my dad would be like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Like, who taught you that? Are you my daughter?
Yes, I am your daughter.
It's okay. Just be okay with this, Dad.
And so now it's like, sometimes, like, my elders were like, can you step outside of that shit now? Like, sometimes we're wrong and you need to call us out. Like, calling out an elder?
What?
What? Say nothing.
I say nothing.
I'll take that to my grave. Yeah, I didn't see that. Good work. Thank you so much for your day. Like, I don't know. And so now it's like, how do I step out? I've been working on it a lot. Like, especially that I have elders who are like, that's stupid. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not patient, and I'm so grateful. Because, like, my lessons come when people are, like, throwing chairs and shit. Not that, like, because I'm so, you know what I mean? Like, I need someone to be like, no. Or, like, I think one of my greatest lessons in life, so when I was growing up, I was predominantly around white people, which I had a beautiful upbringing. I really had a fantastic childhood. But of course there was elements of my world that were so missing that, like, I longed for, like, just being around black people. Like, I just needed it. And so I had this thing, and I don't know what this thing is, but I used to, how do I look? Do I look okay? How do I look? And it was a thing that I did all the time. So now I'm in university and I'm living with my best friend and her friend, and, like, we were the cute crew. Shout out to the cute crew.
Yeah.
We lived in the cute crib. Like, we used to go partying every weekend. We were hot, like, big booty, big butt, like, big. We had a lot of fun. And so one day I said to my friend, Naila, I'm shouting you out. I said, how do I look? And she was like, shut the fuck up. What? She's like, don't ever ask me that question again. You have to know that you look beautiful, and you never have to ask anyone else's opinion about it. And I was like, you see your face? I was like, oh my God.
Another chair throwing moment.
Why are you talking to me like that? Oh my God.
What is wrong?
Yeah, like, I went back
wrong
to my
with
room,
you?
like, you know what I mean? And then I sat in my room for a while, and then I had to, like, stand in the mirror. And this is the time when India Arie's like, I'm gonna stand in the mirror.
Oh, yes.
Myself in the mirror. I'm gonna heal the disc now. Like, I gotta heal this. And so, like, I feel like I spend a lot of time doing this. So I don't ask people anymore, like, how do I look? Like, maybe if, like, I don't know, if I put my lipstick on funny and it's, like, on the side of my face, but I just assume people can tell me anyway. And maybe it's just part of my day.
Depends on where you're going.
My daughter's like, this is not okay. Don't. All right, I will fix that. But now I don't ask. And the lesson was abrupt and it was harsh.
Right.
we are still friends to this day, and that's lots and lots of years. But it was so big for me because that's when I was like, I don't have to ask permission to be beautiful.
Yeah.
That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
It's not that I didn't think I was. I just wanted like you to like give me permission to feel like I am.
Yes.
So now I'm like, nah.
Now I'm good.
I'm good. Right here, whatever it is.
This? Do you see all of it?
What? and then how many women now, how many of us can actually have permission to just be as hot as we are, as brilliant as we are, without being cliche, we're having a day of day of celebration, great, but it's for me, it's the in between moments.
Yeah.
That's the real shit time.
That
when I'm
is
standing
true.
in the mirror, where I'm like, Sheena, do you hear you? Can you see you? Do you feel you? Do you hear you again? It's time. You cannot do this anymore. You can't pretend bullshit anymore. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm not okay.
Yeah.
I feel like shit right now.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not a good mom right now. I feel like I'm gonna lose something right now.
Yeah.
And now it's time. So anyways, this is what Author's Corner is for. Thank you. This has been the realest one I've done.
Woo! Well, I'm so happy to have been a part of this.
Oh man.
Just even being in this space, to be quite honest with you, it has really, really wrestled with my mind, because I'm sitting here looking at Pam Grier. I'm sitting here looking at Saul Williams. I'm sitting here looking at Dr. Seuss, this gun, all this amazing artwork, and Speaker Box, Outcast, and it literally has transported me back to me 21, living in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh my gosh.
And I said that to Andre when I came in here, this feels like Atlanta. It's just got this, and in this conversation, talking about the Million Women's March, talking with you ladies, looking at Ozioma, looking at you, talking about our children, talking about our elders, all of that was who I was. I felt if I can go back to, if I can show you who I was at 21 right now, you'd be like, it looks like this young lady right here. That was me.
Brilliant. And
just
ready.
I'm taking on the world. I was getting ready to start university at Clark Atlanta University. I was going to be a black filmmaker. I was going to make messages about the movement. I was going to document my life. I was going to tell the stories. And I'm like, shit. Where is she? Oh, where is she? Hello. Where's she at? And
I do know.
I recognize really, truly so much that is me.
Yeah.
I'm looking at me right there,
and you're still that.
And I'm still that. As we're sitting, but the conversation is just different, and it's coming at it from a way from an angle of me now being, a mother, being an entrepreneur, being a mentor, being a black woman, being a Canadian now. I grew up in the United States. I lived my whole life in the U.S., not really knowing what it meant to be of Caribbean background, but born in Canada. Half the people were like, wait, what? Huh?
And it's so strong.
And
here it's so much.
It's
all that we are.
It's all that we are. It's the conversation that I've been having on and on and on and on. And it feels so good to finally be able to talk about this and not feel like I have to explain my fucking story.
Yeah, no.
Here we go. I don't have to explain the story.
Yeah, we're
you just said my story. I'm like, you just said my story. And I'm like, oh, okay. I feel so set. I just feel stable. I just feel clear. I feel so, this is exactly what this is all about. The dinner, the chef in residence that I'm a part of at the Gladstone Hotel, I specifically, called it the rite of passage because it is. This is my rite of passage, and this is all of this. I was there this morning in the kitchen, working with my sous chef, talking with the other chefs, getting everything set up. I'm going to leave here today, go back and serve an amazing meal once again for all the guests that come. And then tomorrow night, you are coming hopefully, I hope you're coming. You got the email. Gladstone.
I didn't. I saw it, but I'm gonna be at for 10.
So she's not coming to the. It's from 7 to 10 tomorrow at the Gladstone tomorrow evening. Did you not get the email from Tara or from me directly?
No, I didn't get
Okay.
It's okay. I understand.
So tomorrow is just like the launch, the VIP launch party, and it's like officially announcing it and presenting it to my friends and my family and speaking about it. And
I want to have a thorough conversation about it all when it's done, when you're settled.
Yes.
Because I'm going to be at Street Check tomorrow with Emma Pink, and I am really excited.
Oh, awesome.
It's part of 10 like
Yes.
all at the same time.
Awesome. Well, see, it's all about this collective.
Yeah.
It is all about this collective. And to be honest with you, when you told me that you were even at the Gladstone, it was number 1 was the Gladstone,
it
right?
was the kickoff party with everybody.
Yeah, it was kind of like, yeah, that makes sense. And so it is that space, and that's exactly what I'm creating there right now. And, this feels so like, it just feels right. All of this feels.
You guys are the shit. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I have to be so grateful for the life that I've created because I keep getting to be around magic people that like just make things up of nothing. What? That's I'm so glad that I picked this life this time.
Yes.
That's what I'm glad for.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I manifest what because sometimes things are coming up and I'm like, did I manifest that? I don't remember doing that, but this is so sick.
Yeah.
Because even yesterday, today I'm here with you two. Yesterday I was if you've been to Onyx Barbers, have we talked about this? You haven't been?
No, you've been. I've not been to Onyx Barbers.
You gotta go in there.
Okay.
These guys have created this thing out of it's like all these people are doing this out of nothing. Like, I have an idea, let me just do this.
Nice.
What? It's so cool.
Nice.
And they're really intentionally cutting hair and providing wisdom and knowledge for young people. What?
You just said it. You said it. You have to recognize that this life that we are living and the fact that what we've created and the people that are so magical around us. Because I too agree. I'm just how did this?
And if when I walked by this place because La Chilaka was one of our stops, and they're amazing. They're amazing humans. It's
Nice.
amazing food. If you get a chance, go in, please.
Okay.
On Augustus. On Augustus. Yeah, we're on Augustus. So I walked by this place and I was like, what is this? And they were like, well, we are Homo sapiens. And I was like, oh,
Okay.
I may not be.
I got you.
And then I came in and I had to ask some questions. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I put this one on the back burner just in case.
Yeah.
And then when I heard, I was like,
No, you're not in the back. Let's go in
and
front.
it's me. And
Yeah.
I get to be in magical art spaces
Yeah.
because I'm a creator and I'm an artist and I get to do this with other creators and artists.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap up because
We could go on. Because I feel like we could go on.
We could go on for days, I'm sure. And in fact, I think I'm going to ask you guys, especially when your book is ready, to come back on.
Okay.
And we'll have another author's corner with a different twist.
Okay, cool.
Why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I want to thank you guys, from the center of me, and knowing that I called you and you called me. I want to say thanks. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheena.
Because this is real.
Yeah.
And thank you, Andre. He's out artisting around, and that's okay. We understand that. We're here at Hip Hop Art Gallery, and so this is I have goosebumps on my body because I feel like it's time now that people get really real. 10-10-10 was about 10 artists having an opportunity to get close with 10 locations, and so that in the truth of it, so my marketing team is oh, it's for this and this and this and this, and they're totally right.
Right.
I want it so that when Calvin Gumbs walks down the street and he sees Lowell from Onyx Barbers, they hail each other up. What up, dog?
Yeah.
What up? I want it that when Emma Pink goes by Street Shack, like they know each other.
Yeah.
Casey Bradfield is now going to sign up for artist in residency at Wata Theater. Like that's
fantastic.
like that's what it was about. And now we get to like see each other. Like we're gonna go like do things in the world together.
Yep.
And so that's what 10-10-10 has been about. I mean, social media, yes. Stories, yes. All of those things, yes. And people hearing about us, yes. But also real life connections.
Yeah.
That now, because we all lived through that time, you remember that time where like the only way to be a real company was if you had like an automated phone and like everything's automated. Check out camera, like everything's up. And now we're at this apex in our universe that it's like people are craving. Millennials are even craving conversation.
Yeah.
You guys won't call a company.
Yeah.
I'll send them an email.
I'll just send him an email, send him a text.
You just text
Facebook? No. I'm sorry. Instagram, Snapchat.
What's your Instagram?
Yeah, right. But then there's still this piece where you guys don't even know that you feel like you want to be having a conversation with someone.
Yeah.
Or at least to be understood of what you need. What is it, like for me as an entrepreneur, what is it that Ozioma needs when she's my client? And so like, yes, we are all online. We have all social media. We have all like website and it's good and fancy and all that stuff. But at the end of it, when you become an author of a DVP, like know that you're loved. Like we genuinely care for you. And we have authors around the world and like, yeah, like love up on you. And at some point I'm going to go meet them all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what y'all were. I ain't saying a drive. I'm just coming to say hi.
So I'm at the airport. Just let him go. Are you in the area?
You're like, wait, what?
Hey, girl, I told you I was coming over.
Did I tell you the email? Okay.
Damn. I'm going to just go over here. So, yes, thank you. Thank you, listeners, for listening and joining us. And thank you for reaching out to these women. Where can they reach you, by the way?
So you can reach me at Instagram, Saturday Dinette. Email Suzanne, SUZANNE, at SaturdayDinette.com. And those would be the best two ways to kind of get at myself and Ozioma.
And Azaan.
Oh, and also Suzanne Barr Food
Oh, yeah?
on Instagram.
Thank
So,
you.
we definitely gotta put that one up there.
Yep. So if you're looking for, do you cater as well?
We do catering.
So if you're looking for catering or somewhere that you need to eat and you need real loving food, you gotta reach out. Real talk, you guys gotta reach out.
Yeah, and I'm at the Gladstone Hotel with the chef in residence, rite of passage until September 28th. Sunday to I'm there from Sunday to Tuesday, 5:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. We are definitely gonna have the summer to kick off. Caravana, the Tings Guan, big things. We're taking Caribbean food and we're giving love and respect to our ancestors, to my mom. This menu is dedicated to my mother, and representing all Caribbean people making that migration from leaving the land of your native land to come to North America by way of England or by way of however you got here. However you got here, we are here now and we want to represent and talk about it and we want to talk about it over food. So come to the table.
Like I don't have words. With tears in my eyes, I want to say that this is the point of being here, this life. Like to just build what you see. So guys, if you're taking anything from today's conversation, build what you see in your fucking mind. You can do it. You have to do it, actually. Take a break when you need to. Call us when you feel like crying. And if there's no one in the Rolodex, just talk to yourself. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
We will catch you guys tomorrow. Well, you're not going to hear this live, so you will catch us tomorrow. I will be at the Street Shack with Emma Pink talking about mental health, mental wellness, and just living life well. But I there's no words. So Thank you guys for joining us. Stay tuned for another episode from Author's Corner, DDP's podcast for authors where they can let their weirdo hang out. See you next time. Peace and blessings.
Peace, peace.
Thank you so much for listening. This has been Author's Corner, DDP's podcast. Make sure you subscribe and you share and you tell a friend, like up close and personal, tell a friend. Make sure you let all of your author friends know, and if you happen to be an author, make sure you reach out. We'd love to hear from you. This is your soapbox. Okay, we'll catch you next time. Peace and blessings.